Um, Each of the chairs of our 6 parallel sessions this morning will now have 3 minutes to give you an overview of their sessions. I'd first like to call on Lucy Nyirenda, who's the Regional Program Officer, East and Southern Africa, African Risk Capacity, South Africa. And her session was Vulnerability and Volatility, Dealing with Local and National Shocks. Lucy.
Thank you, Patricia. I'll try to keep within the 3 minutes. In the session, we looked at the different approaches on how we can handle or deal with shocks at the local as well as the national level. And a lot of interesting issues were coming out of the session, which looked at, first of all, weather monitoring was one of the innovations which was coming from an experience in Zambia, which is being implemented by Landolex. And I think the important message from there was that the importance of having information for the farmers to help them to change their productive patterns to enhance resilience. Another message that was coming out was the role of microinsurance in supporting protection of assets for rural people. And also one thing that we noted that was important was that availability of favorable regulations and laws would actually enhance the growth and the adaptation of the programs, the insurance programs. We also looked at the safety net programs in terms of how do safety net programs support resilience, and we had a chance to look at the productive safety net program here in Ethiopia, which I think has been talked a lot since yesterday as a shining star. And also we got a chance to look at how do we design productive safety net programs to contribute to resilience. And one of the interesting factors that was coming out was that when we're designing these programs, we have to consider that we have to be focused. We have to have very few objectives at the core of the program to make sure that we are achieving some meaningful output out of it. The other interesting factor that was coming out was that we have to consider productive safety net programs in the broader development aspect. Safety nets alone are not sufficient to develop and build resilience, but rather link them with other interventions, and then they will contribute to the resilience building. And one other thing also that was coming out as interesting was that the safety net programs that we're developing should be able to scale up in times of shock. They should be able to absorb the additional load or be able to increase the level of support that we are providing in order to support the people that have been affected, and also to help the households to build assets by giving them the right amount of support that we're providing. And also, one other important thing that was coming out of the session in terms of looking at how do we keep farmers involved in the value chains in order to ensure that they're getting sufficient income out of involvement in the agriculture sector, and then which will in turn help build their resilience, is capacity building, training our farmers, providing information to them. That will keep them in the value chains, and also will help to mitigate the risks that they are likely to face, like price volatilities. We're looking at reducing transaction costs by providing the right information to them. In this way, they will earn more income and be able to start accumulating assets at the household level. I think these were some of the most interesting key messages that were coming out of this session. Thank you.